Government must end, starting with the bullying of our doctors and the broken promises made by this Premier. The Premier told Albertans several times that an inquiry would have to include doctor intimidation and political meddling. Instead, in her inquiry, the government was given away out by ignoring the issues completely. Now, Albertans may never know who needs to be held accountable, and the culture of corruption will be allowed to continue unchecked. Why does the Premier insist on covering up her government's bad behaviour, and why does she...
The Honourable the Premier.
Mr. Speaker, today is an important day in Alberta. In the middle of the summer last year, Albertans heard that there could be a problem with queue jumping that would impact our confidence in an Alberta healthcare system. And I'll tell you, Mr. Speaker, I was quite pleased to support an independent judicial inquiry, which many honourable members in this House suggested we would never call. Today, Mr. Speaker, that inquiry was called. It is headed by a retired and well-respected judge from the Northwest Territories. The terms of reference are clear, and if there are facts to be found out, we will find them, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that the terms of reference of the inquiry completely ignores the cold reality that patients can no longer feel confident that the doctors can stick up for them, with over 20% of doctors experiencing active harmful obstruction, does the Premier seriously believe that doctors and Albertans do not deserve answers for the bullying caused by your government's mismanagement?
2 weeks ago, answers with respect to that. There was a Health Quality Council report that many members in this House demanded be called last year. There was a report published that was quite frank with respect to the state of health care. As a result, we took 21 recommendations from that report, every recommendation in that report, and we accepted them. We are acting on those recommendations, Mr. Speaker. In fact, we are taking the advice of the Health Quality Council to act on them now, as opposed to what the honourable member would suggest, which is a lengthy inquiry to avoid the issue. We are dealing with the issues now, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I'll tell you what Albertans are demanding: the truth. Given that the AMA president says your inquiry only bandages over the system, and argued that the Health Quality Council findings on doctors' intimidations can't be swept under the rug, does the Premier think Dr. Slocum's comments are wrong, or are they just misguided?
That anyone who has an opinion is certainly entitled to have that opinion. Our responsibility as the Government of Alberta is to ensure that healthcare systems are working in this province for the good of Albertans, not for a doctor's agenda, not for a nurse's agenda, and not for the agenda of a political party, Mr. Speaker. We've accepted the recommendations, we're implementing those recommendations, and we have an independent judicial inquiry starting their work today on the issue that matters to Albertans.
The Honourable Member for Edmonton Norwood.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.